All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Exchange Fund Platform Info Session. So glad you all are here. Here's tonight's agenda, what you can expect from this info session. We're going to introduce you to the team, introduce you to the Creative Exchange Fund, which we also refer to as CXF. You're going to get to see some photos of the medium and available spaces and a floor plan of what's possible for the platform grant. Then we will unpack what the platform fund is, a little bit about the eligibility and what's expected from that fund application. And then we'll go over the application, just briefly overview what to expect there, what the selection criteria is, and then some additional support and resources. Here's our team. This is what we call Team Medium. The medium is an artist-led project of cash, and these are the beautiful humans that make the medium hum. John and Thalia are on this call tonight. John is our general manager. Thalia is our operations manager. Cynthia Tran is our events and front of house coordinator. And then Evan Alvarado is our creative content manager. And I'm Amber Paradin, our artist and community manager. Our mission here at the medium is that we are a radically inclusive venue for creative expression that offers affordable and equitable access to space for artists of all backgrounds. A little bit about the Creative Exchange Fund. At Cash, we understand that the creative process takes time, money, and affordable space to work. The Creative Exchange Fund invests in creatives by providing funding, professional development, and free space to take creative risks. This is a programming initiative designed in partnership with the Tyson Family Foundation to bring live art and community experiences to the medium. Something that I didn't mention earlier is that our entire team we're either practicing artists or we come from a very some type of arts background. So each of us sort of comes to the table with our own creative practice. And so we've applied a lot of that knowledge to this fund. All right, the Creative Exchange Fund offers 5 unique opportunities to support live performances, community events, artist in residence, and innovative exhibitions. And just so that it's clear, all of the Creative Exchange Fund, the platform included, has to take place at the medium. The medium is located in downtown Springdale, Arkansas, 214 South Main Street. And like I mentioned earlier, we're an artist-led project of cash dedicated to removing barriers between creatives, their work, and their audiences by providing accessible studio, rehearsal, performance, and exhibition space. We have access to this really beautiful 25,000 square foot space, and we're happy to offer that to the creative community to come in here and do some cool stuff. And this is one way that we're doing it. We're offering 5 individual funding opportunities, and tonight we're going to talk about the platform opportunity. We have 2 of these awards at $15,000 each. We have a new website here at the Medium. It's themedium.art. And when you go there, you can find most of the information I'm going to go over tonight. If you need the website translated into Spanish, where this pink hand is pointing, you just click that and you can click a Spanish option and it will translate the whole site for you. If you click on the top right corner where it says menu, and under that is CXF, that's where all of this information will live. Tonight, we're talking about the platform. And you can learn all about the other opportunities here as well. All right. The platform, 2 awards, $15,000 each. This fund supports performance-based artists and organizations presenting new work for the stage. The Medium's 371-seat theater provides an opportunity to engage large audiences in a theatrical setting. We'll go over some more of that in just a moment. $15,000, 2 awards. The artistic discipline that's eligible for this particular fund is performance-based. The available space is the theater. And the time frame is up to 3 weeks in the space. If you have questions about any of that, please put it in the chat. And feel free to screenshot as we move along as well. Here's the eligibility for the platform. You must be at least 18 years old to apply. Practicing artists, groups of artists, nonprofit arts and culture organizations, and for-profit creative entities are eligible to apply. Applicants must reside in Benton, Washington, Carroll, Madison, Sebastian, or Crawford counties of Arkansas. Proposed projects must support shows, performances, and productions on the Medium's stage. Any live performance-based disciplines utilizing the theater are eligible to apply. At least 50% of featured talent, vendors, and staff must be contracted within Arkansas. And previous platform recipients may not reapply for this fund, but you are welcome to apply to other opportunities, other funding opportunities within the Creative Exchange Fund. So, performance-based works. This is what the platform is here to support. I threw these little images over here just to get your wheels turning. A lot of people are curious about what qualifies as performance-based. We're pretty open to what that could actually look like. Comedy, film festivals, musical events, dance and movement, film screenings, if I didn't already say that. We're pretty open to what that could be. So if you have questions about what performance-based work is, please let us know in the chat or send Thalia or John a private message if you'd like to stay anonymous. Also, just to reiterate, at least half of your featured talent, vendors, and staff must be contracted within Arkansas. So we love it if you want to bring in other people from outside of the state. That's fantastic. But please just keep in mind that at least half of those people, even if it's a stage manager, your featured, videographer, anyone that you bring in, we're just looking at least half of those people are Arkansas residents. So I'm sorry. Here are the previous recipients. We just wrapped up our first year of the Creative Exchange Fund here at the Medium. And the first 2 recipients that received this award were the Latinx Theater Project and Jessica Hale and Matthew Cumbie. If you want to read about their particular projects, you can go to themedium.art/artist-archive. And you can click on the platform. You can see all of the previous recipients from all of the funds, but you can click on this particular fund, and then you can click on their profile, and it will have their project description. And I highly recommend spending some time over there, clicking around and reading the other project descriptions to offer you a little bit of inspiration as you are trying to figure out how to write your application. Not that you have to do it like them, but it's just always a good perspective to see what has happened here already. So as you can see, this one on the left, Latinx Theater Project, was a theater performance. They proposed creating and bringing to life a whole new body of theatrical work that they were had been hoping to do for a while and just did not have the means to do it. And this provided them the space and the opportunity to do it. And then Jessica Hale brought in a really phenomenal dance performance. Okay, a little bit about project support. Here's what the Medium team will do if you are funded. We'll help schedule and coordinate your times in the space. We'll walk you through the stage, the dressing rooms, and accompanying equipment. We'll assist with the use of in-house equipment, lighting, sound, etc. We'll provide technical oversight for the evening of your performance, and we will ensure that each event offers a professional experience for both the performers and the audience. I know as performance-based artists that are in the room, you may have questions about what that actually means. Please let us know. We're happy to unpack any of these statements or bullet points. Here's just a snapshot of the equipment and the things that we can provide for you. We do have a portable stage, although you'll have access to our really large in-house stage, but we also have a portable stage with platforms. So depending on what you're interested in doing on the stage, that's an option that you could add to that. We have lighting, loudspeakers, microphones, chairs and tables, and an in-house projector and screen. And then we also have a baby grand piano and an upright piano, and those are available to you too if you request them early enough and based on availability. Recipients must provide appropriate sound and lighting technicians depending on your project. That is not something we will do in-house. Set pieces and theater flats, your own instruments and backline, instrument amplifiers if necessary, and any audio and visual playback devices, laptops, smartphones, beat machines, etc., depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Again, feel free to screenshot this page and ask us some questions. Here's a floor plan of the medium. The main entrance is off to the far right in the red text. And the space that you will have is the auditorium, which includes the stage and the theater. There's 371 seats. There's a small green room. There are 2 dressing rooms. And then there's a shop with a garage door that has access to the parking lot. So if you need to load in large set pieces, that's where that would happen. Here's an image of our stage and theater in use. This lighting package was actually brought in from someone, but it shows you what's possible in the space. This is another snapshot of Jessica Hale on stage with some of their performers. And here's a snapshot of the theater seating, the 371 seats that we have. As a part of the platform, we want to make it clear that you're welcome to sell tickets to your events and keep 100% of the proceeds. So we don't have a point of sale system here at the medium. And so if you plan to sell tickets to your event, that's all on you. And we have some services that we might recommend if you're interested in doing that. You would manage all of the ticket sales and then keep 100% of the proceeds. I also want to remind you again that you'll have up to 3 weeks in the auditorium, and how you use this time is up to you. So if you need to use all 3 weeks, you're welcome to do that. That means rehearsal, and then you have a weekend full of performances. Or if you'd like to rehearse off-site leading up to your performance time, and you want to use that 3 weeks for back-to-back projects, that's possible too. We're pretty open as to how you might use that. So if you have questions about what that means, 3 weeks in the auditorium, let us know. And to be clear too, what we would do is you would have a key to the space and you would have access. So you wouldn't depend on one of us being here all the time. You would have access to the space to come and go as you needed. Okay, application. The applications request the following information. We're looking for a lead artist. The lead artist is the person that is filling out the application. the name that's on the application, and that will be the point person that we will be communicating with through the duration of your project and leading up to it and afterwards. And that will be the person filling out the assessments and everything after your program is over. And the lead artist will be looking for their geography, discipline, and their level of experience. We're also going to ask for an artist statement or an organization statement of purpose, some work samples, creative achievements, project information, title, description, key collaborators, timeline, and budget. We're also going to ask for your preferred dates for the project and how this project will give you the opportunity to take risks and expand your professional or artistic growth. Here's a little bit more about the applications. Supporting information for the artists and organizations applying. Social media website, artist statement, and a little bit about this statement is just telling us who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how you do it. Any relevant experience you might have that pertains to your project that you're proposing, include creative achievements, accomplishments, and milestone activities within the last 7 years or so, and then some work samples. And you can upload up to 3 work samples. And some of those, especially for the performance-based artists, most of those might be videos. You have the option to include a video, but you need to know that video files cannot exceed 5 minutes. We'll also be asking for work sample descriptions, cue time if applicable, title of the work, the date you completed it, the city and state and venue, your role in that project, and any key artists or partners that you might have had, and then just a sentence or two about what that project is. And the cue time is helpful if you do upload a 5-minute video. If there's a particular 30-second window in there that you really want us to pay attention to, that's really helpful if you want to include where you want to direct the panel to look. I keep saying this over and over, but please use the chat if you have any questions. We're happy to answer those. Okay. Your proposed project description. This is a part of the application. We're hoping that you can describe in detail your proposed performance-based project, include the title of your project, description of the work, the proposed time duration, and who is involved. This little nugget should not be in there. All artists are expected to perform at least 45 to 60-minute set. That does not pertain to the platform. I apologize. But it is important that you let us know a concept of what it is that you are proposing. And we're interested in the timeline for the planning, creation, and production of your proposed performance project, including the date ranges and corresponding details for the key stages of your project. And describe how your proposed performance will give you the opportunity to take creative risks and expand artistically. You notice that statement keeps coming up over and over, and that is an important one. We're curious how, if you were to be awarded the Creative Exchange Fund, how you might take a creative risk and expand your artistic career. Whoops. These are the date ranges for the platform. And we would love it if you could click all of them if you're available to do so, but please at least select.
Hey, one. Amber.
Yes.
I see the budget. Yeah, there we are. Date ranges.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I accidentally clicked it. Are we good? Here's your date ranges for the platform. Thank you, Thalia. So when you're applying for the platform, if you select 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these, please know that we're going to try to fit you into that. There are only 2 recipients for this, and we've already blocked time on our calendar here at the Medium. And so we will do our best to plug you into the date that best works for you. But your project could start as soon as October of this year. So please keep that in mind as you're planning. All right, back to that budget. This is a screenshot from the application, and we include the budget in the application to make it easy for you to help think through and list out your budget for the proposed project that you're looking to do. So we've listed out artist fees, contracted artists or creatives, contracted personnel or admin, supplies, equipment, and materials, technology or online tools, any training that you might need, rentals, any additional facility that you may budget in, any health and safety equipment or anything that you need that could support your project, any marketing and outreach that you might budget in, documentation, and insurance. And you have $15,000. We are really interested in you supporting yourself, paying the artists that are participating in your project, and any personnel that you might bring on, like stage managers or production managers, to help you get the thing across the finish line. And we will look at your budget, and that will help us gauge the feasibility of your project. And it's okay if your budget goes over $15,000. We're just kind of wanting to get a snapshot of what your hopes and vision are, and look at what you're looking to pull off. Which leads us to the selection criteria. The following is considered when determining awards. Does the project present opportunities for professional, artistic growth and risk-taking? Is the project feasible, and does that applicant demonstrate the capacity and skill to achieve what they propose? Does the applicant outline a compelling artistic vision or purpose for their practice in general? And does the project concept align with this artistic vision or purpose? So we're looking at risk-taking. How are you stretching yourself? We're looking at feasibility. Have they done something remotely similar to this before? It's okay if you haven't, but we're looking at, are you capable of pulling this off and doing it safely and beautifully and professionally? Does the applicant outline a compelling artistic vision or purpose? What is it you're doing? Spell that out in your proposal. Why is it compelling? And does that align with your artistic vision and purpose? Panelists. All of our applications will be reviewed by 5 separate panels, one for each CXF opportunity. Each panel consists of members from the Medium's Advisory Committee, Leadership Council, CASH staff, and CASH board members, and representatives of the Tyson Family Foundation. All of our panelists are experts in at least one artistic discipline, and they possess an understanding of the creative communities of Northwest Arkansas and are representative of a variety of communities, experiences, and backgrounds. Sometimes our leadership council, like last year, some of them applied to some funds, and if they applied to that fund, they were not allowed to jury or panel that particular fund, and we assigned them to a totally different one. Okay, on our website, we have a very hefty FAQ section, which is frequently asked questions. If you go to the medium.art/CXF and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a bunch of questions down here. And I've highlighted just a few, and we'll go to a couple more slides with other questions, but this one is a common one. If I received a CXF award last year, am I eligible to apply this year? Yes, you are, as long as you're applying to a different CXF subfund. For example, if you received a producer's award last year, you're not eligible to apply for or receive a producer's award this year. Can I apply for more than one creative exchange fund? No, Lead artist should select the fund most closely aligned with their discipline and scope of proposed project. However, lead artists may participate in additional CXF projects for which they are not listed as lead artists. So essentially, we can only take applications from people. A lead artist can only have their name on one application. So if you are a dancer or a musician that's involved in another project, but someone else filled out the application as the lead artist, then that's okay. We also want to let you know that applicants will be notified in late August or early September. And the funds will be distributed 100% upfront. So once you've signed your contract and you're in, and we've all signed the grant agreement, then we will issue payments upfront. That means you might get your money. You might get your money this fall, but your project isn't until May. So please keep that in mind. If awarded, can I change my assigned work period? This is an important one. Requests for changes will not be considered unless under dire and immediate circumstances. The Creative Exchange Fund artists will collectively occupy over 700 days of overlapping projects and programs. Shifting work periods poses a significant challenge that would affect other CXF recipients. So we carefully navigated this last year and we got everyone's project across the finish line. If you need to shift your date, it poses a challenge. So please carefully select the dates that you are available when you're applying to the platform. Something I wanted to add to that too is although we're hosting the Creative Exchange Fund here at the Medium, we are also still a venue that's available to the community to come in and rent. So we have a lot of Creative Exchange Fund projects going on and also external community events coming in as well. Do I have to be a resident of the state of Arkansas to apply? You must be a resident of Arkansas to apply for the platform and the artist residencies. You do not need to be a resident of Arkansas to apply for the producers, mixtape, and Spectra series funds. Eligibility varies with each fund. Can I use additional spaces within the Medium that are not designated to my fund? Unfortunately, not. Each funding opportunity has a designated location within the facility. If you'd like to reserve additional space, you'll need to coordinate that separately by emailing Thalia. So hopefully that's clear. The floor plan that I showed earlier with the auditorium, the dressing rooms, the shop, and the green room would all be available to you for the 3 weeks. If you, for some reason, decide you need the black box or the main gallery or another space at the Medium, you would have to reach out to us and schedule, coordinate, and rent that. And we do have very accessible pricing. So don't let that scare you off if you do need additional space. Just reach out and we want to work closely with you and help you bring your project to life. Can the lead artist participate in other CXF projects? We've already touched on this a little bit. Yes, lead artists may be members of other CXF projects for which they are not listed as the lead artist. If you have questions about that, let us know. Okay, here are the other info sessions. We've already blown through a bunch of them. The Medium Artist Residency one is happening tomorrow, June 8th at 11 a.m. If you missed these other info sessions, we have recorded them and they're all up on our website now. We just hosted our in-person site tour this last Saturday, but if you've never been to the Medium or you're curious about the space or you want to see the auditorium, please reach out to us and let us know. We're happy to coordinate some time with you to come into the space and see it and familiarize yourself with the space. We are beginning one-on-one support this week, which is really valuable time that we're excited to share with you. So you will have the opportunity to sign up for a 20-minute one-on-one session with one of our team members to ask basically anything Creative Exchange Fund related. If you have a technical question about what's possible in the space, really anything. The sky's the limit. So reach out to us and take advantage of these one-on-one support sessions. They technically open June 29th, but I believe they're open now. And then we have an application workshop coming up. So during this application workshop, we want to make sure, we want to help you get some pen to paper. We're going to help you answer some questions, and you'll walk away from that application workshop feeling a little more prepared to fill out your application for the Creative Exchange Fund. Here's where all of that information lives on the medium.art/CXF. Scroll to the bottom and you'll see this section. This is the pink hand is to register for one of these info sessions, but that language has actually just been updated, I think today, that says just to click here to watch a recorded session. And while I have your attention, I want you all to know and take advantage of the Cash artist directory that we have on the Cash website, cashcreate.org/directory. This is a free service, a free artist directory. You can just go on and create a free profile of you or your organization. And we use this directory frequently. So when people come to us and they need recommendations for performers or musicians or visual artists, we first and foremost ask them to go to the directory and see if there's anyone there to reach out to directly. So this is a really valuable resource, and we hope you have your information on there. Okay, the Creative Exchange Fund. If you feel just totally ready to apply, this is how you do it. Just go to the medium.art/CXF, and there's an Apply Now button. Click that, and it will take you to our third-party application service that's called Submittable. And that's a common service that a lot of grant applications use. And you'll go there and create a profile and begin to fill out your application there. You can work on your application in real time and it will save it on Submittable, but we do recommend that you type that information in a different service because, technology does not always work in our favor. So use a Google Doc, use Word, use something like that to type your information and then cut and paste it into Submittable. It's not worth it to risk losing all those thoughtful words that you've strung together and then for them to disappear. So type that in a different space. Okay, we've made it to the end. Thank you so much for listening to this whole thing. I have given you a whole bunch of information and we've saved a lot of time here on the end to address any questions that you might have. That's why it's beautiful that you all are here tonight so you can take advantage of this time with us and ask questions. I know that this was a lot of information, and it's also a lot of information that you can probably find online. So if you want to dive deeper into any of the topics that I just mentioned, now is the time to do it. And we are here and ready to answer your questions. So I'm going to hand it over to Thalia as she's been working feverishly to keep the chat going.
Fingers flying, smoke coming off my keyboard. Y'all had good questions. A lot of them centered around, if you weren't keeping up with the 75 pings in the chat room from me, most of them, understandably, centered around time and money. All of the work periods for every creative exchange fund, for platform specifically, that's 3 weeks. Those are consecutive weeks. So you will have access to the space for 3 consecutive weeks. Amber touched on this earlier, but staff, meaning myself and John Wayne Farr, will take those 2 awarded projects, compare the weeks that they selected on their application, and we will fit them in to our production calendar. It's not as hard for this fund because there's only 2 projects that are happening out of this fund. But for other funds, like, I don't know, producers, we have to do that like times 3. So as Amber said, select as many of those as possible, because that makes our job easier. You can't change your work period if you are awarded. That's very important. Everything is like a house of cards with relation to our calendar. So if one thing gets taken out, it's all going to fall. So keep that in mind. To be very clear, your $15,000, if awarded, comes with free space. So you do not need to include rental costs in your budget. That it's 100% subsidized. Another thing that Amber brought up is the cost of your project can be over $15,000 if you're going to do a really big thing and pay lots of artists, which we want you to do. But we will not be contributing any more than $15,000. You can, in your budget, include other contributed revenue or earned revenue, but the portion from the Creative Exchange Fund is $15,000. Yes, you can use the shop. That's actually what we want. We want you to live and work and play and create alongside us every single day for 3 weeks. You'll have 24/7 access to your space. So if you're awarded, we will issue you a key agreement. And if your cast, if you have a cast, needs to rehearse from, I don't know, 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. every day, you can do that in your space. And you can also do it when we're there and hang out with us. Does the proposed performance work need to have its premiere at the Medium? John and I were kind of back channel chatting about this. And when I answered that question in the chat, I said, no, not necessarily. To me, the word premiere means the first time that it has been presented. So it doesn't have to be that for the platform. And John, save me from myself. And Amber, save me from myself if I start saying wrong things. We've only done this 1 year, y'all. We're still, this is still a little baby grant. What was I going to say? For a lot of the other, for the other performance-based fund, which is mixtape, that has to be original work. So like those musicians can't come in and play covers. That has to be original work. We would love for your project to be original work, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. If this work has been presented on a stage in Missouri before and you want to restage it at the Medium, that's lovely. In fact, one of the artists from last year, Jessica Hale, she had presented that work in New York years ago and brought it down to the Medium. And that's cool. And that's okay. John, is there anything you want to weave into that response?
No, I've been like browsing the contract from last year, just like, I swear I heard something about that in the past, but I think it was something where like, no, because of conversations like this that we're having right now. So yeah, I will say like LXTP, for example, I know that they were at the Arkansas New Play Festival, and so they were workshopping and they did do a reading of an early version of their piece, Arrivals y Salidas, which had a completely different title at that point. So, like it's just further reinforcement like to this point.
Yeah. And I would say too, like I said at the top of this question, we value original work, of course. And I feel like that would contribute to the risk taking that this wants to fund. But hey, I don't know, you might propose a kick-ass piece of work that's already been on a stage before, and that's rad. So we have real open minds here. What else? Yes, you can sell all of the stuff. Please make as much earned income as you can off of this. Again, we don't have a point of sale for that, so you would have to set up and operate that. Keep that in mind. This one is real important that the lead artist resides in one of those 6 Northwest Arkansas counties. This is a lot of money. $15,000 can change a person's life. And we want that money to seep into this community that is directly around us and pay the artists and technical professionals that live around us. Oh, something I forgot to drop in the chat that I'm going to do right now that you performance peeps are going to love is our facility specifications document. And that will give you exact dimensions of the stage, all of the rigging, lighting, equipment, boards, all of that stuff. So maybe click on that and take a look at that before you write your project proposal, just to make sure that it fits within the parameters of what we have. What else, y'all? Are we going to get some time back? You all understand it thoroughly and completely. If I gave you a test, you would make an A+ on the platform fund.
Can I unmute for a second?
Yeah. Hey, Brandy.
Okay. Hey. Yeah, actually, I need to look at the facility specification because I feel like I don't want to ask something that's like already there. But if that question that I have is not answered through this, can I reach out to you guys? Okay.
Yes.
That was my question, and then you threw it up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." Actually, I do have one more question, which is about the lobby. Technically, the performance would be in the theater, which technically would leave the lobby as an entry point. Is that something that could be activated, or is there a possibility, or like for sure, that another person's artwork could be residing in the lobby that you would not be able to use that as sort of an activation point?
Great question. You would not be able to activate the main gallery. Very likely, during your 3-week work period, that main gallery will be activated with artwork, probably from the Spectra series. And that is the Spectra series assigned workspace. So you would not be able to activate the main gallery. It would be solely audience access to the theater.
Got it. So no beverages or anything would that be?
Well, yeah. Yes, you can totally do that. Yeah. Okay. Like you can set up a ticket table or a merch table, or we have those really cool rolling bar tops, like you can sell concessions or whatever. Yes, you can do that, but like artistically activate the main gallery, that's a no.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Steven, hit me.
Yeah. Okay. I just unmuted. So I have 2 questions. And the first question would be, would it be okay? This is so exciting, this opportunity, that I'm just like, I'm just bubbling all over the place, and I have a gazillion questions. So would it be possible, because NWABT rehearses Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from like 9:30 to 3 p.m. Continuously throughout our season. So would it be possible to have the last 3 weeks of our rehearsal, if we would potentially be, awarded a project such as this,
Mhm.
in on the theater space, because that would be like amazing. That's like a dream come true.
That's what we want you to do. Yes. We want you
Okay.
to move in and use it 24 hours a day. Yes.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's
John,
so.
John,
Yeah.
were you going to add?
I was just gonna chime in, like Stephen, like you've been in the space too, so you've seen it.
Yeah.
The only thing we ask is when you want to bring in like that many people, is like we just kind of like give us a heads up so we know, so we can like help navigate traffic through the building in case something is going on in the black box or something else is going on elsewhere in the building. But that's
Mhm.
definitely feasible.
Sure.
I mean, and just to say, like Jessica Hale held like 2 workshops, I think, in the space prior to
Mhm.
the weekend prior to her piece premiering. So,
Yes.
it's definitely a thing.
Yes. So sort of a also entertaining and education component to the opportunity would not be seen in negatively.
I, it, like, no, I don't think it would be seen negatively at all. No, I mean, like as many components to the program that you want to add is great. Yeah, we want to see you. We want to see your project have all of these beautiful artistic layers. And
Yeah.
something else that I wanted to add was, if I wasn't clear enough in that answer, the Creative Exchange Fund, like equally wants to do 2 things. The obvious thing it wants to do is put money in the pockets of artists, specifically Northwest Arkansas artists and creatives. Yes. Equally, though, what it also wants to do is activate the medium. So as much of your project that you can plan on having at the medium, and project prep, set building, rehearsals, workshops, artist talks, anything you can imagine, that's what it wants to fund.
Yes.
So to be very clear. Yeah.
Okay, that was really helpful, because when I say education component, I wasn't talking about teaching classes. I was talking more about a community conversation, and
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So, and the second part of the question, and this is the last part, there was only 2 parts of that question. Would it be seen negatively? And I know you might be able to answer this, but I just want to make sure. I'm asking about the fundamental, the core value of this proposal, and so would it be seen negatively if I spent a significant amount of time at the medium creating a project and then performing it also elsewhere?
We want you to create at the medium a significant amount of time. So yay to that. That would be great. We would ask, and I think it is actually maybe required somewhere per the contract, that if you are creating that piece at the medium, that it be presented at the medium first before
Yes.
it is presented elsewhere. But once it's been presented at the medium, go forth and conquer, like present it at all of the spaces that you can find. Yeah.
And that was my question. I had all intentions to first perform it at the medium because it seemed like most appropriate to me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would like to get some more mileage from that project.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Those were the 2. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's your project. You own it. Do whatever you want to with it. We have 4 minutes left. Does anybody else want to ask a question? Or John and Amber, did I miss anything or misrepresent anything?
You're doing a great job dodging and swerving all these questions.
Thanks.
I'll say too, something that came up as you guys were talking. I think that, and I think it was prompted, Stephen, with one of your questions, is when I mentioned earlier that along with the Creative Exchange Fund, there's other things happening at the space, external community events coming in. Just to be clear too, like that 3 weeks that you would have in the space, no one else is allowed in there. or I mean, people will walk in there sometimes during a tour or something, but it wouldn't be that we're booking things while you were there and trying to work around you. We block off that time, that 3 weeks is sacred. It's yours. And so I just want to make sure that's clear too, that we're not trying to book around you in the space. So we, Thalia and John work really hard to do what we call calendar calculus, where they block off and fit everyone into the project, into the space. It's like a giant puzzle. So just wanted to make sure that was clear too.
And Amber, just to dovetail on what you were just saying. So when you say the space, quote unquote, you're talking about the stage, or yes?
Yes, the auditorium. Yeah. So other things will be happening in and around the space. There will be other CXF projects that aren't platform, like the artists in residence will be here in their classroom, studio spaces. Mixtape will happen once a month, and that will happen probably in the black box, maybe on the stage, but it would never happen on the stage during your project period. So that's the calendar calculus, where they are plugging everyone into their spaces and making sure no one's double booking or overlapping in inappropriate ways.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I dropped one last link in the chat. Just a reminder that you can meet with one of us, Amber, myself, John, or Cynthia, who's not here. She's out doing creative things as we speak. You can sign up for a one-on-one virtual session with us. That scheduling is open and is at the top of the CXF page on our website. So be sure to grab one of those if you want to brainstorm your project. Maybe you've already got that and you're on like phase 2 and you're trying to get some specifics down. Maybe you don't even know what fund you want to apply for. We can help you talk through all of those things. So sign up for a one-on-one. Book us, yes. Well, we made it. You did a 6 o'clock Zoom on a Tuesday. Yay.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you guys all taking the time to be here. I think we'll end at that. What are the dates for follow-ups? You mean like once you apply, when you'll hear back? I apologize.
Maybe you mean for one-on-one?
There was a screenshot of specific dates that I saw earlier, and I didn't copy them, and I didn't screenshot that slide. So I was just wondering if those dates are they available on the website?
All of those dates are on the CXF page on our website, Stephen. It's that beautiful timeline that just keeps going.
Or is it this page?
That's what let me screenshot that real quick.
This is on the actual application. Yeah. So grab that one.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's all. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, John, take us out.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for being here.